What is Bitcoin's next move? Will Bitcoin crash again, or should I buy now? Also, when will altcoin season start? Seriously, what are the signs to look at? You are a crypto trader. Show me the charts. Today I confront crypto trading veteran Tom Crown.
I think we're seeing a little bit of progress here because bulls are clearly defending. They're pushing price up.
To discuss what's next for the Bitcoin price.
This is the chart I am watching religiously.
How do we know when altcoin season starts?
To answer your question about when alt season.
And watch today's whole video as Tom gives his Tron TRX price prediction.
This chart I cannot look away from, and it is Tron. It's going kind of crazy.
Join me on Bybit now with referral code Altcoin Daily and unlock up to $30,020 in exclusive rewards. A great place to buy, sell, and trade altcoins. Link down below. Smash the like button and let's start. And just for the new subscribers getting into crypto now, just as a reminder, you've been on the channel before, but what's your background in trading?
Absolutely. To be honest, I'm just a normal dude. I went to college, tried to do the job. That route didn't really work out, and turned to crypto. And trading is just synergetic. And I've been doing this about 8 years, 5 full-time on YouTube. And my background is mostly self-taught. When I started trading in crypto, there really wasn't any guide or like step-by-step play on how to do it. So a lot of what I do, I figured out by myself and with the help of others, and very blessed to get to where I am today.
And for people jumping into trading for the first time, what's a piece of advice you wish you knew when you first started?
Go slow. You're not going to get rich overnight. I know you want to, but you can, with pretty good probability, get rich eventually. Get past where you are currently and improve your life from the wealth side. Just, it's not going to happen overnight. I'm sorry.
On that note, let's flip the camera. Show me the charts. What's Bitcoin's next move?
Well, you picked a great day to talk about Bitcoin. So let me pull up the chart here. Great day. We have the FOMC minutes in, and the Fed seems rather dovish. I think it's 60% of traders are looking for an interest rate cut in September. It's big stuff. And Bitcoin is reacting way beyond actually what I expected. So I have just the daily chart. Each one of these candles is a day and the price action inside of it. And right now, Bitcoin is at 61.4K. That's a price that we have seen about for the last 160 days now. So I understand if that's not exciting, but I have a reason that it might be a little bit more exciting than you'd expect.
Please tell me. So the Fed is dovish, meaning they're probably going to cut rates. That's great for all markets. What is that reason? Why are you so dovish?
Oh yeah, I'm super dovish. So earlier in this month, we saw a sell-off to multi-month lows. We hit just under 50K. And I think a lot of traders got shaken out of their positions there. Understandably, that was a pretty violent move. However, what we've seen since and into maybe this more dovish rhetoric from the Fed, I think we're seeing some strength on the chart here. So here's the sell-off into the 5th, and we've come back up. You'll notice these 2 lines on our chart here. These are moving averages on the day. We have the 50 and the 200. And actually, on the 10th, Bitcoin performed or completed something called a death cross. That's my super villain name, by the way, if I ever join like the DC universe, death cross. So this is typically not a good thing. Bitcoin does tend to kind of react opposite to these crosses, and that is what happened. Price moved right back up to 62.6, and we've been hanging out mostly sideways there since. And I view this as actually bullish rather than bearish, because I think the bearish path here was a rally back to where we saw, and then an immediate sell-off, pushing us down to lower lows. The bears have their parties rooting for what, like 38,000 or something. That didn't happen. And to me, despite price not actually making progress as of this video, I think we're seeing a little bit of progress here because bulls are clearly defending. They're pushing price up. They're not letting it fall back down to those August 5th lows. And in this very moment right now, we're actually seeing Bitcoin push up into the 50 and maybe looking to test that 200 here at 62.8. This is what I deem as like the critical level to get past. If the bulls can reclaim 62.8, I think we move back to the top of this descending high trend here that has pretty much kept price down since March. And that would put it somewhere in the realm of like 69.5, maybe 70K.
Wow. So just to clue in everybody, when you say a death cross, that's when the shorter term moving average goes below the longer term moving average, signaling bearish momentum in the short term that's crossing over to the long term. I'm slowly learning how to trade, Tom, and I've heard some experts say that that's a trailing indicator, that once it's everything happens up leading to it, but once it happens, it's it's not going to happen after.
There is definitely validity to that statement. I love it. I love that you're getting into trading, man. You got my number. Text me anytime. I hear that a lot, and I think you're right. It is without a doubt a lagging indicator, and you can even see that literally on the chart right here. The death cross happened on the 10th. Price bought out the 5th and moved right back to it. And while in normal markets or traditional markets, these tend to be kind of better, clear-cut signals, in Bitcoin, I think there's an argument that they're a little bit inverse. By the time the bearish cross happens, usually the low is in, at least short term. And the same is true in the other direction. When we get the bullish version of this, the top or the high, at least in the next, I don't know, weeks or months, tends to be in by then. So I think you're on to something there.
Give me your worst case realistic scenario for Bitcoin. If the worst should happen, what are the levels?
Absolutely. So I think the worst thing we could see here, especially right now at 61.5, is into today, into tomorrow, seeing a sell-off, a strong sell-off. So that would be characterized by like mostly just downward price action, not a lot of sideways that we're used to. Big red candles. That's probably what you're thinking. If we do see that and price moves below August 5th's low, being 49-ish thousand, I think the next downside target or the next place that I would look to maybe take a long position would be like 38.5. I think there's a lot of kind of game theory behind these numbers. I won't go too much into the technicals of it. That would get a little complicated. I'll get into the easy part, which is this is where the low after our ETF for Bitcoin started in January. We saw a sell off down to this number. It's about 38.5. And I think that likely that is the price where we would see a lot of those ETF participants kind of fold their hands. They've been up this entire time. And a lot of those weak hands, I think, would be shaken out just by seeing a little bit of red on their portfolio. I think that's a great spot to look for a bounce. That would be my bearish take.
And realistically, like Bitcoin dipped, a couple weeks ago, that big wick because of the Japanese yen carry trade, which we all learned about at that time, and that dipped to 49,000 for a minute, and that was a huge macro event that sucked liquidity out of the market. If you're talking 38 or 35, I mean, to me, that would have to be like a global war breaks out or some even more major macro news to get to those levels.
Well, in the history of Bitcoin, that really wouldn't be that crazy of a move that would require maybe something global like that. But I think you're right, where a really large global event could spark something like a sell-off that would bring us to those levels.
But doesn't need it.
But it doesn't need it. No, Bitcoin in all of the bull runs we've seen, and I will admit this one looking very different than the past ones, at least so far. We've seen bigger sell-offs with almost no reason, no real narrative or anything, just seems to be the nature of Bitcoin. If I think in the 2017 cycle, we saw many 40 to 50% retracements from whatever high we hit, and there really wasn't a catalyst. It was just, this is kind of the volatility of the market.
What's your bull case? Let's say the Fed does cut super dovish heading into the election, heading into next year. What is the bull case?
Well, that's my favorite case. This is what I spend my energy on and my thoughts. So the bull case I'm looking for could be happening in front of us right now as we film this video. Bitcoin has moved to a higher high versus yesterday or today is Wednesday, Tuesday, and it's moving back to that 200 moving average. This is really where my attention is. It's at about 63,000, and the bullish case for me starts when we can move above 63 and just close really any time frame. It doesn't matter. I'll say daily. Close anything. Show us that bulls are not just interested in this price, but they're interested in defending this price. If we get that, I said earlier, I think we're going to move up to about 70 or 69. And I think the most bullish path we could follow would be a break of this top trend, moving higher, maybe to a new all-time high, back down to say 70, and then really kicking it off with one of those typical Bitcoin face melting rallies. This is what I'm really hoping is going to happen.
Based on everything we've seen this whole last year, has your cycle top projections for Bitcoin changed? What do you think cycle top, whenever that is, based on the charts, where will Bitcoin be?
That's such a good question. In the past, and even on this channel, I've been extremely bullish. And of course, I'm still extremely bullish. But the game of calling, the all-time highs as time goes on just seems almost like a fool's errand. Last cycle we hit 69,000, and that didn't make sense to anything on a technical level to me in my charting. And for this cycle, I mean, man, it's just like, I really think it's a hard game to guess. I would like to see Bitcoin at 250,000, right? But if we go by maybe the kind of change from the previous all-time high to 2021, that would probably put the number, I don't know, somewhere high 100,000s.
Let's focus on this because you're a trader. What is your time frames that you prefer? Are you on the 5-minute? I'm guessing you're not on the long-term stuff.
No, I do most of my trades as longer term trades. I think patience is the most valuable asset to a trader. Of course, you can trade any time frame. There's many different kind of iterations of trading. You can be like a scalper and be kind of in and out intraday. That's not really my preferred style because it takes a lot of attention, a lot of energy, and a lot of emotion. I like to just set my trades and kind of let them cook without me. Just they fill and I'll check in on them when they hit their take profits or when they get stopped out. So I'm a longer term trader for sure.
So you're trading on the daily, or what are you trading on?
Yeah, I would say daily is a really preferred time frame for me. Weekly, of course, and a lot of the time I will look for my entries on even a monthly level.
Wow, nice. Tom, big question. We all want to know. What signs do you look for when we're gauging altcoin season? When will it start?
I got your answer right here for sure. So we're going to have to change the chart here. Obviously, Bitcoin going up, going to be a good signal for that. Just more liquidity, more money in the space. But there's actually a chart that describes this better, and that would be Bitcoin dominance. It's not quite as sexy of a chart, but this is the chart I am watching religiously for signs of altcoin season. And I hate to say this on the Altcoin Daily channel, but we are not in an altcoin season yet.
Get out.
Yeah,
Get
I know.
the F out. No, Tom, I like that. I appreciate that realism.
So dominance is what you should be looking at. The ticker is BTC.D, and what it describes is Bitcoin's market cap versus the total crypto market cap.
Does this include stablecoins?
This does include stablecoins. I prefer
Isn't that
to
make
keep
it
them
different than other years? Because now stablecoins everybody's making one that's eating up that side of the dominance.
Yeah, so that's an argument that's valid as well, but I kind of don't really follow that line of thinking because, well, one, why are we excluding them? Is it just convenient for our chart? Is it convenient to whatever, narrative we're trying to tell? No, I'm not sure why people exclude it. It is crypto. It does have a market cap. And so I feel that maybe it's a little misguided to exclude them. They are part of it. What if I decide to say, I'm just going to exclude Litecoin, right?
But they're not altcoins. I think the argument is they're not altcoins.
I would make the argument they are. They just are less volatile. They do vary in value. They don't stay at exactly $1. They have fluctuations. It's just much softer, much slower than everything else. I acknowledge that there's some value behind it.
I can see it both ways. I can see it both ways.
it doesn't change the much either. That's kind of maybe my biggest argument is that this still pretty much just looks like this, even with or without altcoins. So I keep it. But to answer your question about when alt season.
And for those of you interested in trading altcoins, I'm personally using Margex. It's no KYC, no VPN, and one of the easiest entry points in crypto for beginners and advanced users. Use code Altcoin and claim up to $10,000 in bonuses, link down below. And if you want a KYC, obviously Bybit, I would say, is the better option. Some people just don't want a KYC. They don't want to give up that data. That's why I like Margex. Do not keep your coins on exchanges. Not your keys, not your coins, but a great place to trade.
So just like, I don't know, when moon, I would love to have that answer definitely for you. I'd be a bajillionaire if I had it. But this chart can give us really important information about who we are and when we should maybe start looking for it. So I said, well, we're not in an alt season and we haven't been. And you can see that on Bitcoin dominance. In September of 22, with the greater market, dominance hit its lowest point in I don't even know how many years. Since then, it has just gone up with very few, very short-lived kind of downside moves, meaning Bitcoin was representing more and more percent of the total crypto market cap. While this remains true, altcoin season is kind of a dream. It lives in our hopium, and I love hopium, but it isn't reality until we start seeing this chart show some kind of weakness.
So what are the lines? When it crosses 60% dominance, that's the tell?
So that is where I'm looking, and I know a lot of analysts are looking there. And this number really is just found by looking at the previous high from January of 21, then looking at our low in September and placing our Fibonacci retracement tool. That 60% number is what we call the golden Fibonacci retracement. And that's kind of the favored level to look for really in any move in any market. When it moves up or down, we look for it to go back to the golden pocket. That sits at 60. 60 is also a very solid psychological number. It's something we can easily imagine in our brains. It has a lot of value when it comes to trading anything. So that's where I'm looking. I know many others are. However, there really is no other rhyme or reason that that would be the top. This is just kind of when my headlights are going to turn on and be like, we're going to start looking for altcoin season now. We hit 60%. It may still have higher to go, but I'm going to start maybe looking at what coins I want to add to or what positions I want to take at that level. And until then, I'm kind of hands off on adding to alts.
Tom, I want to have you back on in, maybe 4-6 weeks. We're going to revisit this. So make sure everybody stays subscribed, and link for Tom's channel is down below. Click subscribe. What's one altcoin that you are actively trading or you are looking at today?
Absolutely, man. I actually noticed that you made a tweet about it the other day, and I was very impressed. So I will preface.
We tweet about a lot. They're not,
yeah,
not
right.
But what was it?
And it's some coin on, no, I'm just kidding. I was going to say some coin on Solana. No, I do want to preface, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm just looking at what's moving. I'm a chart guy. I'm into charts. So this chart I cannot look away from, and it is Tron.
It's going crazy.
It's going kind of crazy, man. I have been kind of preaching about Tron for the last, I don't even know how many months now. This chart is incredibly strong, and I cannot find really any others that are from a similar time, so like 2017, that look quite like this. And even the price action in the last 48 hours has given us some reasons to be bullish. Now, you should always be cautious when things go up, because while they're going up, you have that chance of buying, the top or the high. But this chart is really interesting to me. Tron has made some big moves in the USD pair. It has almost gone back to its high in April of 21. That's about 18.5 cents. I think it hit 16.5 today. That alone is very spicy. I actually want to correct you. I think your tweet said it's about to go to all-time high. I don't know if you actually looked at the whole history.
I did see that, and about is very ambiguous.
You're not wrong. You're right. You're not.
But I did
30
see
cents.
that.
I think it can go back there too. Um, just even showing this kind of strength while the rest of the market is very much undecided is something that I find valuable as a trader. Um, there's a little bit of extra spice that I'm going to bring just to the Altcoin Daily channel. And that's a little bit different view on Tron. If we look at the market cap, we actually see something very spicy. Market cap did break to a new all-time high versus 2021. And I find that very interesting as prices kind of hovering around that high. Total market cap has broken out. And as a trader here, looking at this chart, Tron has very little to, I would say, almost no actual resistance on the market cap chart. If you look to the weekly closes or weekly highs, it's actually trading above its highest weekly close ever. And we'll find out by Sunday, it may close the highest weekly market cap ever on Tron's entire history.
Tom, give me just for fun, give me a Tron TRX price prediction. If it does blast through all-time highs, where does that upwards trend take us?
Can do. So I would say at first, the all-time high 31 cents is a great target, provided we can get past 18 and a half. But if you want some moon math, I'm not a man afraid of moon math. I'm just going to use my fib tool connected from my all-time high to our bear market low in 2020. And I'm going to do what I always do. I'm going to use my fib extensions up here, and that gives us $2.79. How's that sound?
That sounds like I wish I had a bag.
You don't have a bag? Oh my goodness.
I don't. I think my brother does, but you can't hold them all. I really appreciate you taking the time today. What's your subscriber count on your YouTube channel roughly today?
We hit 100K in March, and we're at 122K now here in August. We're doing pretty good. I think that'll come up a little bit after this video, I have a feeling.
I think this was your best appearance yet. I really appreciate this. Was alpha. I feel this was genuine alpha. There's no reason that the Altcoin Daily Army can't explode your channel to 125. The link is down below. Thank you for joining me.
Let's do it. Thanks for having me on again.